It's Madden NFL 22, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Broncos and the Jags, and it's coming up next.
Smack dab in the middle of I-295 that encircles the city of Jacksonville in northeast Florida. There's a good look at TIAA Bank Field. A few minutes prior to us coming on air, this crowd was jolted into action with the introduction of these Jaguars. They're set for football as the Jags are ready to match up with the Denver Broncos. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at our two quarterbacks in this one, it's really a good matchup when you boil it down. Teddy Bridgewater of the Broncos, Trevor Lawrence of the Jags.
And Brandon, I think each one might be trying to play some form of keep away from the other, because when you think about time of possession and what that means in a game, it's great if you're able to hold on to the football and run your offense at your pace. And it also helps to keep the other guy's offense on the sideline. That's your goal for the game.
Kicker Brandon McManus about ready to get us started. And off we go from Jacksonville. This taken in at the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. They're led by the #1 overall pick in the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence.
The word is potential, potential, potential. Think about this guy from the time he was in high school, one of the top prospects going to college, coming out of college, mentioned as a generational type quarterback. He looks the part. Tall, big arm, surveys the field, and can take off and run when under duress.
On play action, Lawrence. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with him defensively. And it'll bring up second down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
X3, 218, 5.
And they'll run it. This is James Robinson. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Looking downfield for Jones. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Here's Logan Cook now to punt this one away. And Deontay Spencer deep for the Broncos. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be taken out by the product of the University of Louisville, the talented Teddy Bridgewater.
A Pro Bowl quarterback early in his career in Minnesota before a horrific knee injury slowed down his progress. He's a more than capable quarterback and makes the most of his opportunities when he's a starter in the NFL.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing, Bridgewater. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
1st down, Bridgewater. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on 1st down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing is Bridgewater. Sets up the screen to Gordon. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10. So, Charles, first drive here, a little safe completion underneath, maybe get some rhythm, get your feet wet, so to speak.
I agree, and I like it because it's a lot like a basketball game when you're getting started and you pass the ball around so everyone touches it early and gets involved in the game. In this case, it's not just dumping it to a back and he's able to run with the ball, but you get your offensive linemen involved because they get to get out. And
he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Nevin Lawson with a pick. And the Jags are going to get it back here just shy of the 20.
Well, I tell you, Brandon, this ball's intercepted, but it is 3rd down. So the silver lining is that since this is so far down the field and there wasn't a big run back associated with it, really this kind of works like a punt. It's not an altogether bad result.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Here's Lawrence. He'll fight his man, Laviska Shenault. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 1st down, Robinson. And running with power here. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Here's Lawrence to throw. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now Lawrence. Pass incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Lawrence. They're trying to find Sharp, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. Trying. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. To return, here's Agnew. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position, not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
They start on the ground with Robinson here. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling, and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Looking to throw. Lawrence. He'll get this out to the flat for ETN. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield. Everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield. And he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
They'll run on first down. Robinson. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Four yards remain for second down. They run. Robinson. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle.
logo.
56.
Back to throw. Lawrence. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. Here's Logan Cook now as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Got Gordon open, completes it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a big play there for the Broncos. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. To throw is Bridgewater. Completes it to Fant on the right side. That catch good for only a couple.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. 2nd down and 8. Bridgewater. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And, partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Here's Bridgewater. Now he's forced out left. And Gordon's got it. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Oh, what is that?
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
On 4th down, Sam Martin is on to punt for the Broncos. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Jaguars again ready to take over on offense. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win 1st down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on 1st down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating 1st downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
60 outlaw.
A snap to Lawrence as he taps this forward. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line.
He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going
The defensive coordinators love that. You got a cornerback willing to stick his nose in there, come up on run support, and stop that pop pass dead in its tracks.
And, partner, one good thing about trying to defend that play, you should see it coming the whole way. You see the receiver coming in motion in your direction. Nice job eluding the blocker, making the play behind the line of scrimmage, but an even better job studying the play before you have to try and defend it in a game.
On 2nd and 12. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Baron Browning leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
Completing it here to Marvin Jones. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. It's a 39-yard punt, 3 on the return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Well, the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Bridgewater. Got a man open. It's Sutton. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 38-yard line.
And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Come on, baby. We got to do our job.
So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Bridgewater to throw it. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Bridgewater. That's out to the flat for Gordon. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville offense ready to go back to work. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Now Lawrence on first down. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time. That'll bring up second down. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
And this one is incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
The Jaguars on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Looking downfield for Jones. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And the Broncos will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates are going to check on it because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Following the interception, here's Bridgewater. Throw to the right here to Gordon. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Will go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be a 2nd down. To throw, Bridgewater. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Bridgewater now. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart if you give them time like that to find receivers downfield.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 27. To the air again with Bridgewater. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown.
You can feel the anguish all the way up here. It certainly looked like he had that one in the end zone, open, unable to hold on to it.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater. And that is incomplete here.
I didn't like the look of that play right from the beginning. I thought he should have seen the coverage that was there, tried to force it in. That one, he's fortunate, just fell incomplete.
The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Bridgewater. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And McManus able to put it through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville offense ready to go back to work. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either.
60 Pittsburgh. Hey, let's get them holes. Get it.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. DJ Chark, the intended target. And it's 2nd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Lawrence. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But 3rd down coming up.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Lawrence will throw. And connecting here with DJ Chark. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves. But this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
It's a throw again is Lawrence. Eluding the pressure right. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
2nd and 6. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick six territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the third row.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Hey, check Mike 45. Check Mike 45.
Lawrence sets up the screen to Robinson. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Here's Logan Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. Now Cortland Sutton and the rest of the offense getting ready for their next drive. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are. And he's going to be brought down back at his own 6-yard line. Miles Jack working free that time to take him down. Blitz came there from the inside, and there just wasn't much resistance.
No, not at all. That means that defensively, they timed it up perfectly and matched up perfectly. They drew all the blockers to the other guys, left a free runner back to the quarterback, and you know what a free runner turns into? A free hitter.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. He gets away from one. And the stiff arm proved fruitful for a second, but the daylight quickly snuffed down. Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. Jaguars offense ready to set up shop here again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Lawrence. Throw left side complete. That's Jones.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible. Hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Lawrence. Open man left side. It's a tight end man, Hurts. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Here's Lawrence. Incomplete. He was looking for James O'Shaughnessy as tight end. But now it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. And that is incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on 3rd down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this won't get there, won't be on line either. It's no good, off to the right, and this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over, and it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
And because they couldn't hit the long field goal, they are set up nicely offensively at the 41, 1st and 10. Throwing, Bridgewater. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Sutton. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Now Gordon on 1st down. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. He's got his 6'5 receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
From the 27, Bridgewater. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. K'Lavon Chaisson. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13.
Enough takes to start you out a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Third and long now after the sack. And we'll see if Bridgewater has a response. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So on now is Brandon McManus. He has hit from as far away as 57, but that was in Denver. This will be spotted just shy of midfield. A 59-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And with great starting field position up near the 50, they might be one completion away from stealing a late field goal here. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So a costly penalty yardage-wise, as that'll move the football down to the spot of the foul.
And what the officials are looking for in these situations, whether you're playing the man or the ball. And if you're playing the man, you get a lot less leeway in terms of what's going to happen at the end of the play. But if you're looking for the football, it's less likely to draw the flag.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? Wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the second half.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. To return it, here's Deontay Spencer.
Come on, baby.
So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Denver. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. On the return is Spencer. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as these guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. Completes it to Fant on the right side. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. They'll give it to Gordon out of the shotgun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. Flushed out right, and he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
I like his effort there. He got it done on his own, but let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
They begin the drive with Robinson. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on 1st down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
56,
They'll run again here with Robinson. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 47 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Draw play, ETN, a little juke. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Now a 2nd down and 6. And they'll go again with ETN. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
If you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means fourth down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Here's Logan Cook now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. This is Gordon as they go to him again. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Throwing is Bridgewater. And that is incomplete. And the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Now a handoff to start it out. Robinson. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 55 rushing yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Lawrence to throw. That's going to be caught. It's Chenault. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. On first down, Robinson. And he's got some space here. We often give credit to the O-line there. Two tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. A snap to Lawrence as he taps this forward. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Has a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
From the gun, it's Lawrence. The left side completion to Jones. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. They're not going to get it. They try to move the chains with a surprise, but it's a turnover on downs. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work. And the Broncos will take over on downs. Set to take over, the Broncos offense trots back out. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. And he'll find Sutton on the right side complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw is Bridgewater. Open man, and again it's Sutton. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3, this is where the ball goes anymore.
Is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back back now in Jacksonville. It's Bronco football, and they also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater. Hit as he throws. He lost the football. It's loose. When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone of the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on it.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the huddle. Guys, we have the lead. Just take care of the football. Don't make it easier for them to start to make a comeback.
So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long. Now the handoff comes to Gordon. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. 3rd and long for Bridgewater. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Jacksonville set to go again offensively. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Lawrence with the handoff to Robinson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Robinson pushing his way through. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 89 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything, change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll work this one up to about the 38.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Jaguars on third down. Not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. Now Lawrence. Sharks got it left side. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a first down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Denver's offense ready to go again. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Broncos on third down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Bridgewater. And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Denver. Now a hit and a loose football. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
All right, zero rooting interest in it, but that one hurt.
Well, yeah, you're losing in the 4th quarter. A bad time for a fumble on a punt return.
They had an opportunity. All right, they were sensing. They're down on the scoreboard, and now they just gave that one up.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They'll run on first down. Robinson, nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over pursuing, and making a very nice play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Lawrence to throw. Jones has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. On first down, Lawrence. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And he'll give it here to his running back. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
The Jaguars on third down. They've been stymied left and right, converted only one time. This will be 3rd and 6. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this is incomplete. Oh, that looked like a sure 6 points. But he could not get that to stick, and that is a golden opportunity wasted there.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Bridgewater on first down. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
They'll try and grind some clock with Gordon. A very tough run, but for a short gain out near the 32. Andrew Wingard in to make the play. Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So it's Bronco football as we get your reset here. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. On 2nd down, Gordon once more. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he's going to have a Broncos 1st down as he's able to get this up past the 40. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now they run from the gun with Gordon. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach, he's in big trouble.
So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
Finding his big receiver, Patrick, over the middle. And he will have the Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And this defense, they needed that one more stop to have any chance, but that completion, that's likely going to seal their fate.
And you could hear it in your voice, that one more stop.
I feel their pain.
Oh, it was so important. They just didn't get it done. Wow, what a way to finish this one off.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Down to a knee goes Bridgewater, and that ought to do it.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium. That certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you? You loved the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.